Former head of state General Yakubu Gowon and founding father of the Economic Community of West African States has lauded President Bola Tinubu for uniting the bloc under his watch. Gowon spoke at the inauguration of the Academy of International Affairs, a foreign policy think tank founded by former Foreign Affairs Minister Professor Bolaji Akinyemi on Monday in Abuja. He said the inauguration of the AIA with President Tinubu as ECOWAS chairman, and who recently achieved a foreign policy milestone by making efforts to forestall its disintegration, was highly commendable. General Gowon said the event resonated with him and was reminiscent of when he laid the foundation for the establishment of ECOWAS on May 27, 1975, alongside 14 other African leaders. The former leader, who was the chairman of the occasion, also lauded the president of AIA, Prof. Akinyemi, for his tireless efforts towards birthing the academy. And the federal government has said that some portion of the 42,000 metric tons of assorted grains it provided to help cushion the food crisis in Nigeria have arrived in at least 8 states across the country, while the movement of the commodities to other states is ongoing. Officials of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security confirmed on Monday that the grains had arrived in Kano, Kwara, Kogi, Ebonyi, Adamawa, Kebbi, Sokoto, Taraba, among others. The Director of Food and Strategic Reserve, Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, Sule Aruna, told our correspondents that the FMEFS, in conjunction with partner agencies of government, was complying with the directive of President Bola Tinubu with respect to distributing the food items to state. President Tinubu had in February ordered the release of 42 metric tons of grains from the National Grains Reserves to cushion the food crisis in the country. The government said in addition it reached an agreement with the Rice Millers Association of Nigeria to release 60 metric tons, making a total of 106 metric tons of grains. The National University Commission on Monday said less than 10% of the 2 million students in the Nigerian universities are enrolled in private universities. According to the Commission, there are 149 private universities in the country. The Acting Executive Secretary, NUC Chairman Chris Mayaki, made this known at the British Council workshop on enhancing curriculum and pedagogical approaches in Nigerian universities at the Continental Hotel on Monday. Mayaki emphasized the need for continuous curriculum reform in Nigerian universities to enable them to adapt in a fast-changing world. He also noted that initiating such reforms comes with challenges, as sometimes the actualization of the curriculum renewal was not fully realized due to the challenges of implementation. And the Kaduna State government on Monday says it received the 137 rescued and abducted students of the government secondary school, Shikun, local government area of the state. The school children, who were rescued in Zamfara State on Sunday, arrived in Kaduna on Monday. At exactly 2:08 p.m., the rescued school children arrived at the Sir Kashim Ibrahim government house amidst tight security. Newsmen were barred from speaking to the children, just as the parents of the 131 school children presented to the governor by the General Officer commanding 1 Division were conspicuously absent during the brief ceremony. Thereafter, the children were driven with security escorts to the Women and Children's Shelter for physio-social therapy or psychosocial therapy, I beg your pardon, before being reunited with their respective parents. 6 of the students were immediately hospitalized at the Army Medical Facility, Dalet Barracks, Kawo, Kaduna. The General Officer Commanding 1, Major General Myrenso Saraso, made this known while presenting the rescued school children to Governor Ubasani at the Sir Kashim Ibrahim Government House in the state's capital on Monday. The GOC said 1 male student and 5 female pupils were at the Army Hospital receiving treatment, adding that they would be handed over to the state government as soon as they were certified to be medically fit. In his remarks, Governor Sani cautioned that those he described as merchants of conflict over the wrong permutation on how the 137 school children were rescued by the Army. And the Kwara State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Amina El Imam, has said tuberculosis claimed 1,869 lives in Kwara in 2023. El Imam, who spoke on Monday in Ilorin while delivering a speech during the 2024 World Tuberculosis Day with the theme, Yes, We Can End TB, explained that the disease had continued to claim lives globally. According to the World Health Organization, tuberculosis is an infectious disease usually caused by Mycobacterium tuberculosis bacteria. Tuberculosis generally affects the lungs, called pulmonary tuberculosis. It can also affect other parts of the body, extrapulmonary tuberculosis. However, some of the infections remain as latent tuberculosis with no symptoms. About 10% of the latent infection progresses to achieve disease and can kill if left untreated. On a part, the Kwara governor's wife, Professor Olufolake Abdulrazak, represented by Alhaji Ganiyu Okpeloyeru, the Director General of the Ajike People Support Center, reiterated the government's commitment to eliminating tuberculosis and promoting a healthy Kwara state. And now in the Southeast, the Abia State government says it has approved the setting up of a unified task force to handle the enforcement of government policies and initiatives for the state and local government areas. The State Commissioner for Information and Culture, OK Kanu, disclosed this while briefing journalists at the Government House in Umuahia, the state capital, on the outcome of this week's Executive Council meeting chaired by Governor Alex Oti on Monday. Kanu said with the coming on board of the task force, touting and harassment of citizens would become a thing of the past in the state, adding that the task force would have coordinators with responsibilities. The commissioner further disclosed that the state government is set to hold a retreat for members of the task force ahead of their formal inauguration by the state government. He said the task force members would be drawn from various ministries, departments and agencies and the LGs in the metropolis. In our Let's Talk Politics, the leadership of the Labour Party said it would resign the decision to hold its contentious national convention on Wednesday as planned. The development comes 2 days after the party formally petitioned relevant government institutions requesting an urgent intervention to protect the party against further aggression from the Labour Congress. In the 4 separate letters written to the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, Ministry of Labour and Employment, and Registrar of Trade Union, Falonipe Amos. The party also called for disciplinary action to be taken against the NLC President Joe Ajaero and other union leaders who spearheaded the alleged vandalization of its properties. The ongoing conflict over the control of the party escalated last Wednesday when members of the union, acting on the directives of the NLC leadership, picket LP secretaries across the country. The move was to press home their demand for Abure's resignation. The protesting workers had laid siege to LP national headquarters in Abuja, chanting solidarity songs and demanding Abure's resignation. They were, however, prevented from gaining access to the party secretariat by security operatives posted to the area to maintain order. And in Edo State, in another development, the Chief Judge of Edo State, Justice Daniel Ogumbowa, on Monday reviewed the panel constituted to probe the state's Deputy Governor, Philip Shaibu. The CJ, raised the probe panel at the instance of the State House of Assembly, which on March 12 commenced impeachment proceedings against Shaibu. The Assembly said the impeachment proceedings were based on a petition accusing Shaibu of perjury and leaking the government secret. The impeachment move is believed to be the latest development in the feud between Shaibu and his principal, Governor Godwin Obaseki. The two of them fell apart last year after Shaibu declared his intention to become the next Edo State governor. The House of Assembly had, at a plenary sitting last week, written to the Chief Judge directing him to constitute a panel to probe the allegations against Shaibu.